Trail, specifically more of our interview with Sarah Palin. We caught up with her on the campaign trail in Ohio this past week. An eventful week. Tonight, we talk about the campaign experience, her relationship with John McCain, and what she says the media have gotten wrong. Where are you coming from this morning?
We were in other parts of Ohio.
Is there any more important state?
Nah, there's some that's important.
By the time we caught up with the GOP ticket on the trail at midweek, it had been a tough week for Sarah Palin.
They're in charge of the United States.
She had told a
Senate,
student questioner the vice president was, quote, in charge of the U.S. Senate. Then came the story about the RNC ponying up $150,000 for a new high-end wardrobe and other personal items damaging to the self-described hockey mom. But the more damaging numbers, the NBC News Wall Street Journal poll showing 55% of respondents now believe Palin is not qualified to be president. Then just today, Palin and her husband were placed under oath for depositions in the so-called Troopergate investigation in Alaska. McCain and Palin don't relate to each other like close friends. They've only really known each other for 2 months. And for most of that time, they've been traveling in separate orbits across the continent. When they're together, at least in front of a visitor, they catch up on each other's children and talk about that day's campaign strategies. You can make a break for it, Governor.
Ready?
Yeah. Right, exactly. Just this week, Palin seemed to be taking charge of more of her message and her time with the media. At one point, she broke away from her handlers to take a few questions on an airport tarmac.
We're doing interviews every day. We've got interviews scheduled every day.
Are you liking it more?
I've loved it from day one. My life has been an open book, and my life is an open book today. And you know, Americans deserve to know that the background, the associations, the affiliations of a VP candidate. I'm willing to continue to be an open book, but I'll tell you, there have been some unfair shots taken by some of your colleagues against certainly trying to spin my record into something that it is not, and that's been a little bit frustrating. But I think the most frustrating thing has been some unfair shots taken against my family because they have been based on lies, and that's kind of hurtful.
Anything you want to correct the record on?
Oh, we've been trying from day one to correct the record on things like my alleged attempts to censor books. Of course, that's never happened, and my record of oh shoot, you know, I'm not going to rehash some of the old ugly stuff, but Brian, there is some frustration there in understanding you can't pick a fight with those who buy ink by the barrelful in the media. It doesn't do any good. But if these things were true that have been said about me or my family or my record as a governor and a mayor, if those things were true, I wouldn't like me either if I were to believe all the things that have been reported. There's been a lot of false allegations out there.
Our brief conversation led to the inevitable question about her future in politics if she and John McCain do not win on November 4th.
As for furtherance in a political career, I'm not even going to think about that. I'm thinking between now and November 4th what it is that we have to do in reaching out to the electorate, letting them know who John McCain is, what we represent, and how electing John McCain is the right decision for the future of America.
Even though you know the talk about you will start the day after the election if you're unsuccessful.
Well, I'm concentrating on November 4th and just you know, having a lot of faith in the wisdom of the people, understanding that getting the economy back on track and winning the wars, John McCain is the right leader to get us there on both those fronts.
Our goal here this week has been to let you listen to the